Has this started recording? Okay. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, continue on with your QR attendance. We are going to start in maybe 2-3 minutes. Once your friends are mostly in, then we'll start. Is this the first class you guys are attending to? All right. For this week. This is the first week. Anyone?
No.
No, doctor.
No, doctor.
No, other classes started already. Yes.
Yes, doctor. Other classes started already.
No, no worries. Then nice lah. Since you have been warm up already. So basically, this class is about animal biotechnology. You are going to have your another class or another course on plant biotechnology will be on in next semester, taught by Dr. Ho. Okay, so we are going to talk about animal biotech, but please bear in mind that animal biotech, plant biotech, it is basically interconnected, because whatever that if you want to rear animals, keep animals, to raise animal, you still need to have feed them something. Okay, and these are the food source mainly comes from plant. Okay, so these are interconnected, and when we talk about animal biotechnology, the technology itself, the biotechnology itself are all interconnected. So one set of tools can be used for many applications, including animals and including plants as well. Just that whether or not the ease of handling it, whether or not you know how to cater or maneuver the tools to fit your own research needs, okay, it will depends on you. So this particular course is basically trying to expose you to as many tools, biotechnology tools as possible on animals. Okay, now if you understand this course well enough, you can basically apply all the skills or the knowledge that you have learned. You can actually apply it in plant as well. Okay, so it's a wide range of application. So now yeah. Okay, I think it's about time already lah. Let's just start, right? Ada lagi yang tengah masuk ni. Just a minute. I let your friends come in first. You guys miss, no, like, have you guys done any physical class before? Never before, right?
Never.
Never, sir.
No.
Not yet.
Oh, fresh. Okay, next semester you'll be coming back already. So, yeah, like, since you have never seen me physically as well. And then, yeah, you have never come to lab before. No worries. Now, as we go into your second year, you will find that a lot of this technical, since you're not being exposed to it, okay, a lot will seems very strange or totally awkward, or you are not familiar with it. Okay, and as I'm going to go deeper and deeper into the course, you will notice that it will get worse. Okay, this kind of condition, but nonetheless, you just have to know the theory first, and then by your second year, at least there is a course called the recombinant DNA technology. Okay, in that particular course, you will learn about most of the skills practically. Okay, in practical, you will learn about it now. So that time you are going to write your own lab reports. Hopefully you can still it's still good enough for you to pick up from there. And then in your third year, when you're doing your FYP, it's another training ground for you. Okay, you have another, if you are coming back by next semester, you have another 2 more years, including your FI period. You have the training, still some more to go. Okay, 5 minutes already. I think we'll just start with our class. Otherwise, I can't go for my lunch later. Oops. Yeah, whatever. Okay, now, since we are here already, can you guys see the introduction slides here? Okay, animal biotech.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Thank you. Okay, now, so formally, I have to welcome you guys to STB2192 Animal Biotechnology for semester 1, 2021, 2022. Okay, now this course is basically one of the core courses that you have to take. Okay, but it is 2 credit hours only. So Now, bear in mind, one good thing about this course is that there is no final examination. Okay, there is no final examination. And another good thing about this course is that later on, you will need to do service learning. Okay, now service learning is kind of different from any kind of assessment because it actually requires you to go out and visit industry. Now, since the door is now open, regardless whether it is in Semenanjung, I think Sabah also fully open, right? Is there any places still undergoing PKPD or not for you guys? There are 100 plus of you guys here. Are there anyone still undergoing? Is your area still undergoing PKPD? If no, if no, I would encourage you, although it is not really that advisable for me to do so, but for the sake of your, if you do appreciate this learning process, you can gather maybe 2-3 people from your area. Okay, if you're, since you have 100 plus over here, there must be some friends of yours who are attending this course together as well in the same state or in the same area. You guys can come out, get to know each other, and then you try to visit the industry. Do a recording for me. Okay, at least you get some practicals, or at least you get some exposure from there. Meaning to say, you have to select some industry, animal related industry in this country. Okay, who's that? Your daddy, is it? Your dad, is it? Who was it talking about? And mute your mic. I don't want to listen. All sort of stuff later on. Now, okay. Now, you are being encouraged to basically go out to choose one industry and then choose one company. Now, previously last year, some of your seniors, they were undergoing PKPD, but somehow there is a time off whereby there's 2 MCO, right? So in the middle, there are some time period before the MCO actually right before the MCO begin, they actually visited aquaculture farm, poultry farms, and then some cold storage companies as well. So they get the exposure from there. Okay, I would encourage you to do so. But if you fear for your safety, it's okay. I'm not going to cut off your marks, but you can ask for 1 or 2 representatives to go out for you. Okay, later we are going to talk about what are the details that you need to fulfill in order for you to go out, and what are the scope that we need to study. Okay, it can be an interview, it can be an online interview, it can be a face-to-face interview, it can be just a site visit, observation, process observation, yeah, all sort of things. Okay, you will be surprised. There are a lot of different animal industries out there that you haven't been exposed to. For example, I believe everyone eats chicken over here. Okay, chicken is the most universal food considered these days for protein. Beside fish. Okay, so have you guys ever actually visited a poultry farm, either for chicken or for ducks or or for quail? Okay, now if your living area or your house area
Doctor,
has that, yes,
there's still few of my friends that can't admit into the
oh, okay, so sorry,
class.
so
Thank you, Doctor.
no worries, no, sorry, my bad. Okay, no worries, this is just for one time only. Next time, yeah, no problem already. Okay, so yeah, where am I just now? So yeah, we'll talk about that lab 1 later. Okay, so I'm the coordinator. This course is solely taught by me. I'm Dr. Chung. If there are people who don't know me, some of you guys sat for my, I think, biochemistry before. For those who haven't heard from me before, I'm Dr. Chung. This is my email, my extension 2961, but you have my phone number. Like, it doesn't really matter really the extension number. Now, I've been here for 8 years in Unimas. Previously, I worked with Lembaga Getah Malaysia, LGM, in Selangor, in Sungai Buloh area. Okay, I worked for around 2 years before I quit. Well, no, before I quit, I went for a working interview with Unimas. That time, the interview was conducted in Bukit Bintang there. Okay, early in the morning, I just went to try my luck. Who knows, when I went for the interview, it was a 1 hour interview. So after the hour interview, they actually after 1 or 2 weeks, they informed me that yeah, I got accepted. So I actually throw not throw my resignation letter. I didn't resign because in public sector, in like us, public servant or civil servant, we can actually transfer our service. For me, I actually transfer my service from Lembaga Getah Malaysia to Unimas. Okay, it's a transfer of service. So basically, later on, your years of service in the government will be counted. So that's my case. Okay, so and then I graduated. Now, previously, I graduated for my first degree. I graduated from UMS, University Malaysia Sabah. Okay, and then I tried to resume or to pursue my master degree in UMS as well. But that time, I took around 3 or 4 months time to complete the whole master study, and then I submitted to my supervisor all the data. And my supervisor was saying, "Chung, you have the potential. Why don't you just go somewhere else, maybe like a research university?" So I actually went to USF to pursue my PhD instead. Because in UMS, one problem with it is that the research was great. Okay, my ex FYP or my that time so-called the master's student supervisor was quite was very nice to me. Okay, it's just that the problem is that there was a what do you call it? The administrative performance of UMS is quite slow. So when you want to apply for offer letter, it actually maybe takes up 6 months or a year time. So I don't have the luxury to wait for it. By the time I finish my study already, they haven't even for me give me an offer letter. So basically, I transfer to Penang instead. Okay, so I took around 3 years to finish off my PhD in developmental biology. In my FYP, I did microbiology. Okay, in my LI, I did cancer research. Okay, so my research profile is all over the place, but somehow for biotechnology, for me, I still advise my student, you have to always open up your scope, try many things. Okay, don't limit yourself. For example, some people say my FYP, since my FYP is in plant biotech, I want to keep sticking to it for my LI, for my master, for my PhD. My forever career will be sticking to plant biotech or tissue culture. mm, don't do that, okay, I would say, okay, because there are a lot of opportunity for biotechnology students out there. Don't enclose yourself or limit yourself to a certain scope. It is a waste later on. You will find that whenever you look for certain jobs, uh, it is going to be a block for you, obstacles for you. For me, since because I was exposed to microbiology, I was exposed to plant biotech or cancer research during my LI as well, and then I was so when I go for my job interview in Lembaga Getah Malaysia or Unimas, it actually helped me a lot because I know how to kelentong. Okay, kelentong based on experience lah. Because when I was exposed to all these different stuff, okay, when you go for an interview, it actually equip you to deal with all sort of this biotechnology, those professional experts. These people, when I go for this LGM punya interview, the applicant that time I was told was 3,000 people, whether or not they are from my biomedical ke, biotechnology ke, yeah lah, whatever lah. When they study biology, they want to go over there just for the job. And then the number of research officer that they are looking for is just three over 3,000. Get what I mean? It is just that overwhelming. People are looking for those kind of. Everyone wants a government or civil job, whether or not you can perform or whether or not you can convince others that you have the potential and capability to to perform or not. Yeah, that will be the time. Okay, the competition is there. Okay, so that's about it. No, so and then fast forward, I have been here for 8 years already. Okay, this is my 8 years. So nice, life is good. Okay, so if you want some career advice from me, or you have some things to talk about in your research discipline, you want to talk about with me, can also. You have my numbers, you can contact me. Okay, tapi jangan malam-malam. Normally I don't reply malam-malam. Okay. Altogether, we have 3 groups over here, group 1, 2, 3. Okay, Tuesday from 2 to 8. So basically, I try to combine all this group together, unless you have schedule crash. Now, if you have schedule crash on 10 to 12, I will advise you don't attend my class. Just go for the other class, which has been set for you already. Okay, if that course I change my time and crashes with that with those other courses that you're taking, please go attend their course. Okay, you can do my course asynchronous. I'll post every single recording for our classes online in Elite. Okay, so whenever you are free, just go click on it and listen to it. Whenever you are maybe halfway through the whole video, you notice that there are some questions you want to ask, just text me. No worries. Yeah, as long as office hour, I will reply you with in an instant. Okay. So this is our Elite page. Remember now that day, Aiman was it who told me that some of you guys cannot register for Elite. Right now can already because I think I accidentally hide the course from some of you guys. So yeah, sorry for that. Okay, so this is the synopsis and our CLOs. So basically, the course is to provide a broad view of animal biotechnology, integrating historical and modern topics. So later on, we are going to talk slightly about some history of animal biotech. It includes understanding of basic molecular principles. So we are going to focus really deep into basic molecular techniques. Okay, and then DNA recombinant techniques. And also application of these techniques to animal cells. How do we actually change animal cells, or how do we actually regardless of whether you are changing the DNA of it, you are trying to introduce some foreign substances to it, or trying to derive certain molecules out of it. Yes, we are going to talk about it. Okay, and then we are going to talk about what are the processes of improving or manipulating the complex organism. For example, you want to do artificial insemination, which is like these days, I think most of the farms that do breeding, they have their own artificial insemination tools. Okay, so these tubes, those little tubes which contain semen from the brood stock, the stock, is going to be purchased from somewhere, and then upon thawing, it is going to be injected manually into the animal. Okay, into the animal for artificial insemination purposes. Now, what is the real target behind the aim behind it? To improve the living organism so that we can harvest them later on, regardless whether we are harvesting the milk, we are harvesting the muscle tissues for meat consumption, we are trying to produce more of it, like producing eggs. Okay, want more eggs out of it, so we can use certain substances to induce it. Okay, so these are all included in animal biotechnology. Okay, and then now for this course, half of the semester will be focusing on theory. Okay, the other half of the semester will be focusing on case studies. We'll call it service learning. Okay, service learning. So you are going to observe the industry, how they are going to do use different technologies. Some of your seniors actually went to this ladang kambing, and then they that time they were doing some artificial insemination, and they can actually observe it. Okay, or aquaculture farm. Some of your seniors learn how to treat animal diseases but of course it depends on the owner lah. Some of the owners feel what do you call it, they don't want to disclose much of their trade secrets, or much of their confidential methods, so they wouldn't show you. Okay, so really depends on whether you select the correct industry or not, or select the correct company or not. Okay, but no worries, this is the exposure. Make sure you make full use of the time that we're given. Now, for the service learning itself, 70% of marks will come from there. Okay, so make sure you treasure the opportunity. Now, CLO1 will be outline the basic principles of biotechnology in animal research. So this will be for the first half of the semester. CLO2 will be the second half of the semester. Now, this is our schedule. Lecture 1 until lecture 7, I'm going to do it review synchronously through our lesson on Monday. No, not on Monday, but on Friday, okay, at this hour, 10 to 12 o'clock. Okay, so after this, now, starting next week, we are going to have quiz 1. So today's lecture will be included for quiz 1. Okay, make sure you listen later on. Okay, and then we have quiz 2 on third week, and then quiz 3 on so on and so forth. Okay, we have 4 quizzes, and then there will be 2 forums as well. Okay, forums whereby based on some current issues, you have to give your thoughts and reflection on it. Okay, remember the reflection is important. How do you feel about it? Okay, these days reflection is constantly requested for, okay? Because we don't want just you to just post knowledge or some facts or statements out of the internet, out of Wikipedia, or you just Google it and copy and paste and put it in, and then it basically means nothing because information is just too it's luxury. It's a luxury, okay? And then it is so convenient that you can just copy paste or whatever information you get from the internet. But reflection is hard to get. One, we want you to basically express how you feel after you have listened to that particular topics or that particular issues, current issues. For example, the first human genetic modified human experiment conducted. So what do you feel about it? Do you think that it is ethical to do so? Do you think that it is unethical to do so? There is no right or wrong. Don't feel that, hey, Dr. Chung says if I'm going to put it's okay to do a genetic modified human, my marks will be deducted. So I'm not going to do that. I would just put all it is unethical. I will just go with all the others. Don't do that. Okay, you have your own thoughts. Okay, tell me about your own thoughts. When you have a But of course, when you do your own thoughts, make sure it is a complete thing lah. Jangan separuh jalan because you feel that like lack of support lah. It's okay lah. Since my friend say so, I'll just follow so lah. Okay. Try to have your own opinion on it. Try to have your own arguments. I want to see the arguments. Okay. Normally, it is those posts who have their own arguments, their own feelings to it, and then their own mindset and their input on it. Will get 5 marks for the forums. So there are 2 forums. Okay. You can find it in Elite page. You just, whenever you have time, just go read on it, post your own reflection. Okay. Remember, each of the forum is 5 marks, contributing to the 100 marks of the final 100 marks. This course, I would say, very easy to score, just that a lot of works, but I believe these works will be very enriching for your career later on. Okay. So altogether, these are our lessons: tools and animal biotech techniques, assisted reproduction technologies, marker assisted selection. This is maybe the toughest, lecture 5. But yeah, please be rest assured, it wouldn't come out in exam, but that is one of the most important technique these days in biotechnology, regardless in plant ke, animal ke, marker assisted selection is like the in thing. Okay, you better know about it. Okay, so animal nutrition, we're going to go into animal nutrition. What are the feeds that can be manipulated? What are the feed additives or probiotics or prebiotics that you can add into animal nutrition in order for digestion to be better? So we're going to talk about it. And last lesson will be poultry genomics. Poultry genomics, we are going to talk about chicken. So why so much chicken? Where does all this chicken actually comes from? Okay, every day, almost every meal you eat chicken. Habis. How come all this chicken doesn't go extinct one? How come it produce so much meat that it can actually sustain the whole human population, regardless you go to Asia, which corner of Asia or which corner in the world, everyone eats chicken. Okay, fast food chicken, you have Asian style chicken, you have Western style chicken, whatever lah. So we have to talk about chicken. Okay, a specific lecture for chicken because they are just so significant. Okay. So and then we have then we continue on with our service learning for from 3rd of December all the way until 14th of January, and until 31st of December, there won't be any class at all. This you don't have class at all. Okay. These 5 weeks, you go do your site visit, you go do your interview, you do go all your service learning, and then when you come back, we are going to have service learning presentation. Okay, each group are being allocated maybe like 15 minutes to present. Do not exceed the time. Marks will be deducted. So just limit yourself to 15 minutes and tell us what sort of interesting stories do you have. Okay, most of you guys can score really well, but there are definitely certain groups which are lagging behind or they don't feel so motivated. Remember one thing, in your career later on, initiative or motivation is the most important. Whether or not you score in your study right now, or score a good CGPA, or you are a bad student, whatever, remember initiative is very important. Okay, so over here, remember to give your initiative all in. Okay, and then we have our examination week. So there's no examination for you, no worries. So once you have completed your service learning, that's all. That's your 2 credit hours course. Okay. Stop moving. Okay, these are your textbook if you are interested. Now, a lot of the techniques and tools in genetic engineering comes from here. Gene coding and data and DNA analysis and introduction. Okay, I have the soft copy, but yeah, I don't want to transfer everywhere unless you request specifically from me. Okay, and then we have this, the poultry genomics comes from here. I think that's it. Okay, now online forums, there will be 2, which accounts for 10 marks, 10%. Quizzes, 4 quizzes, each accounts for 5%. Okay, now each of the quizzes will have 10 multiple choice questions. Okay, it will be conducted, I think, throughout the day lah. But please be reminded, the attempt is just one time. Okay, if you attempt twice, I'll take the lowest mark. Okay, for example, the first attempt you get 1 mark, the second attempt you get 4 marks or 4.5 marks. I'm going to count the 1 mark. So, okay, so everyone has to have equal and fair opportunity lah. Okay, and then it has to be done online. Okay, I'll try to open the link up next week throughout the day. Okay, and then no replacement will be given. Remember, no replacement. Service learning, since it is whole day already, there's no replacement. Once you have completed it, okay. If you just choose one single time which is convenient for you, whether it is 8 o'clock, it is 10 o'clock, or it is 2 p.m. or whatever you want to go for evening time, but I'll just open it until like 4 o'clock, I think, during our class time, whichever you choose time period. Okay, and then with service learning, 70% going for our service learning. So the CLO one, all the classes that it will be included in this 30%. 70% for your service learning. Site visit application letter, you have to write a formal letter. Some of you might think, hey, writing letter easy, but yeah, you better not be so confident, because a lot of most of the seniors normally get 3 marks out of the site visit application letter, because the pronunciation is wrong, the formatting is wrong, whether or not you put in the address for the letter sometimes it's wrong as well, sometimes whether or not you include the name list for your grouping, okay, the intention of such a visit, okay, whether what is the methods that you are going to do for your interview, that you are going to use for your interview, what are you going to do during the site visit, did you clarify it? Okay, but you have to remember, site for a formal letter, it cannot be too long, it has to be straight to the point. Okay, if you want this, you want this, you don't go kelentong or explain every single point inside your formal letter. So this is the time where you are going to be evaluated on the application letter. Some might come back to me asking, hey sir, how come I got 2 marks or 3 marks on my application letter? Am I that bad in my formal letter? I'll show you the cause why I gave such a low mark. Okay, and then proposal writing. Proposal writing is basically you have to come up with a proposal. Why do you want to do such a visit? And during such a visit, what do you want to do? Okay, are you going to conduct a physical interview, face-to-face interview, online interview using Zoom? Okay, is it going to be recorded? You have to present all your case, and then of course the reason why you want to choose that particular industry, you have to justify it for me. Okay, and then execution, the execution itself, the execution of products, I want to see something tangible from that. Meaning to say, if you are going to do a online interview, it should be recorded. Okay, don't go post it online or whatever. Some industry have their own confidentiality on certain issues. If they manage to share with you, don't put it online. Just send it to me. I'll evaluate you based on the interview that you have conducted. Okay. And then there are products. What sort of products? Like poster, for example, if you are going to do a poster or infographic to disseminate the importance of having omega-3 in your diet, okay, or inside inside the eggs, okay, because it will allow proper development of the brain, but proper function of proper physiological function overall, or it enhance the metabolism. You tell me, okay. The infographic has to be designed in such a way that it can be disseminated to the public. Okay, if it is a poster or infographic, you can do an infographic as well. Okay, 20% for it. which is very, consider it very lenient. Okay, students journal. Now, all this will be conducted in groups. So service learning, it will be site visit. Just one letter per group will be enough. Okay, proposal writing, also one group per one proposal. Execution product, one group per for one product or execution for one single group. And then student journal, this alone will be individual student journal. Okay, now student journal, how are you going to write it? We're going to talk about it. Peer assessment. Now, after you have done your visit, now in this particular service learning, you basically have to team up with another group. One group, maybe team A, okay, team up with team B. Okay, team, of course, you try to choose those who are really near to you, so that maybe two representative can come from each group, and then you do the site visit together. Later on, the peer assessment will be conducted. How? The group A will assess group B. All the individuals, whether they went for the visit or not, they are going to access you. Okay, so altogether 10 marks. Your friend will give you 10 marks. Whether or not you get an A, a B, or C, it will be affected because this is 10 over 100. That is like your overall marks already. Okay, 10 marks. Behave yourself. There has been, I don't know whether last year, last year there has been some students who are really stand out. They have very, very strong character. They are the leadership type. Okay, whenever they go out, people look forward to them, people follow them. Okay, but then when it comes to peer evaluation, you see, wow, these sort of people, how come? Their very low marks are being given to them. Maybe 3 marks. When when you do your groupings, sometimes you demand some empathy, sometimes you demand leadership, sometimes you demand the collaboration together, not just a one man show. Okay, some people tends to have this one-man show. Whenever that person says something or do something, you say, oh, fine, you just follow without any contribution at all. Okay, don't do that. Okay, yeah, good or bad peer assessment. Okay, now these are examples of service learning titles. Okay, this is accessibility of the cattle industry during COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia. You want to visit the cattle industry, maybe each of the group, you visit one or both of the group visit that particular company, and then you do a writing, a comparison, whether or not what are the impacts of the pandemic to the cattle industry. Was there a drop in sales? Was there an increase in sales since everyone is staying at home already? Uh, Everyone trying to cook, trying to be an expert in cooking. I believe some of you guys did something, right? Cook something, either bake a cake or did something. So the cattle industry is supposed to be booming. Not sure, but so you have to. But all the cafes, all the restaurants are being closed down, all the hotels are being closed down. Does it impact? I believe to some certain point. Okay, diversity of boiler used in the poultry industry in Malaysia. So, what is the diversity of boiler? Those boilers are those meat chicken, those chickens that you consume. Okay, these are not layers. If we are talking about layers are basically layers down here. Layers are basically chicken that lays eggs, and the sole purpose is to lay eggs only. For boiler, once they are being raised up, maybe like 1.5 months old, you want to slaughter them. Then you put it to the machine, and then they are going to basically process the whole chicken, and then you can eat it lah. And that's why it is being sold in supermarket area. In last time, punya population, maybe not I'm not sure whether your parents experienced this, but for me, last time when in my early age, all the chickens that were purchased, we don't buy it from supermarket. Supermarket doesn't have all this cold storage, whereby we just when we go over there, there's breast meat ready for you, this thigh meat ready for you. You want chicken liver, it's ready for you. Want chicken neck, ready for you. You want chicken wings, it's ready for you. Everything ready for you. But last time, when you buy chicken, it's a whole thing. Okay, either sometimes they even sell it in the wet markets, those live chicken. So you have to bring it back, you have to slaughter it. Okay, believe me, I've slaughtered chicken before. I've done the cooking before. So whether or not what generation are you? So there are a lot of different things going on these days. A lot of these animal industries are all automated already. tons of automation being done behind you. So I want you to explore the diversity of these industries. What is going on behind it, rather than just simply eat the chicken. Your mom cook for it. Ada ayam masak merah ke, ayam masak kicap ke, chicken soup ke, ayam apa lagi banyak lah tu. Okay, whatever chicken chop ke, whatever you don't just look at chicken as if it's just food on a plate. Okay, there is a huge multi-billion-dollar industry behind it, if not trillion-dollar. Not belum sampai trillion lah, I mean billion-dollar behind this animal poultry punya industry. So you go explore on it. Okay, can this halalan toyibun industry issues in the Malaysian poultry industry, whether or not it is halal or not, whether or not the practice is correct, whether or not there's ISO or there's GMP, you will be taught by Dr. Alexander next time in your third year on all these issues. But over here, you look at it as if you go and visit, you're a freshman, you want to know about all these good manufacturing practices in the Malaysian poultry industry. So these are some of the examples of titles that you can do for your service learning. Okay. Visit request letter. This is a good letter. Tujuan kami melawat. I posted this on in Elite. You can try to read it. This is a weak one. Okay. There's no explanation. There's just simple, straightforward. Now, you can be simple and straightforward, but the formatting, the reason you have to give as well. Okay. Service learning, site visit, and then you have a proposal writing. Okay, this is the proposal writing. Now you don't have to, now these days, whether how do you want to do it lah? You want to do a site visit first before you write a proposal, or you want to do a proposal first and then tell me what has been what you will do inside your site visit. Okay for me. Just one visit will be enough. Previously, I requested your senior to do 2 visits. First visit to gather information. Second visit, they are going again and to basically do the interview to execute whatever activities they want. Okay, but these days we try to reduce the contact, okay, the contact time as well. So you do 1 single visit will be enough. As long as you take many pictures, you do your analysis, you do your survey, that will be good. Okay, yeah, the execution and product just now, it can be in terms of survey as well. Okay, public survey as well. Okay, and then this is site visit, blah blah blah, writing. Now this is one of the survey that your seniors actually conducted previously for PPES Ternak. PPES Ternak is one of the main supplier, if not the only supplier, is a main supplier in Sarawak over here, whereby they are supplying all the cattle and the goats, okay, for commercial needs. Okay, PPES Ternak. I believe some of you guys have heard it before, and they are basically selling this fresh beef, fresh what is it? This pretty fresh apa lagi? Yeah, fresh meat lah. Okay, so whether or not their service was good, so they did all this survey, and they actually presented all this data to the manager of the company. Okay, and they actually appreciate it a lot. Okay, because this will help them to understand the market better. Okay, so you can do this kind of thing, execution. This is one of the PPS the booklet that they actually designed. Okay, this is another one whereby they went for another service learning in BH Green Nature Park in Sarawak as well. That time they were all in Sarawak lah, so they can do all this. But you guys, since you are all over the place in the country, so you are free to choose which industry you want to go to. Okay, jangan 10 orang terus pergi satu tempat lah. Yeah, you can choose to break it down. Maybe 3 or 4 representative go to that place. Okay. Yeah, so can do all this. And then they go do promotional video in the MPP group. I believe you have your FSTS group, you have your Unimas group, the MPP group. I'm not really sure. Okay, they did some of the seniors. This is VH Green Nature Park. This is the milk shop in Sarawak as well, in Kuching as well. Okay, so the milk shop. They went to milk shop. They helped to clean out goats, the goats pen, and then they actually feed some of the goats as well. It is a 1-day work from morning all the way until evening. Only they went back. Okay, they help to milk the cow as well, and not milk the cow, that is a goat. Okay, milk the goat as well. And then they did a promotional video for the owner of the milk shop. Okay, that is a promotional video whereby they posted it inside YouTube. Okay, they helped to promote it. Oh no, this is another execution or product that your seniors went for. They went for this Ladang Pak Amin, whereby he's a local goat breeder. Okay, whereby they basically has a lot of these either agricultural products or a lot of these goats being kept. Okay, so it is being sold during especially during this Akikah, during Korban. So they have all these goats lah. So your seniors went there, see same thing like the goat shop. They did cleaning as well, and this is another interesting thing. This Ladang Pak Amin, they actually help your seniors actually help him to treat this. Okay, to learn about how to treat a goat. I think this is some kind of infection being caused by the fly or the moth. Okay, so infection. So they learn how to treat it the kampong way. Okay, it's exposure as well for them. Okay. Now this is the presentation. Now, last but not least, just now we have 20%, right? 20% of your presentation. It goes like this. These are all the rubrics that I'm looking for, whether or not it is relevant, it is clear, the illustration of it was good. Okay, so make sure you have some of the seniors went to this ladang lobster. Ladang lobster is different. Lobster air tawa. I'm not sure whether you heard of it before or not, but your senior actually went there. Okay, almost 2 or 3 years already. The owner actually welcomed us. Okay, and then we help them to promote the local industry. They went to this lobster air tawa. If you are interested into what is lobster air tawa, is basically crayfish lah. But crayfish has a huge market these days. Crayfish, but we don't export it. It's for local consumption only, mostly. Then this is PPS Ternak, Ladang Pak Amin. Okay, this is peer assessment, whereby you write your friend's name and then whether or not they have participated properly, promote discussion, active engagement, contribution, whether or not they have contributed. 1 mark is the lowest, 4 marks is the highest. This will be given to you in the final, during the final week lah, after your presentation. You have to rate your friends. Okay, the opposite group, not the same team member. Kalau if same team member, everyone give everyone full marks, and there's no point lah. Okay, remember this is 10 marks, 10 marks of assessment. Okay, so this is e-portfolio. Now there is before service learning, there is during service learning, and there is this post-service learning. Pre-service learning, definitely, since you have to work out the proposal together, whether or not when your team leader or your team member asks for a meeting, whether or not you participated, whether or not you have joined together and given your ideas on it, it will all be counted. You try to give your own e-portfolio. This is your student journal. I'm going to open now. You still guys, do you guys still have your, what do you call it, your e-portfolio from first year, guys?
Yes,
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, so you just post this e-portfolio in your student journal in that e-portfolio. I think now, for your information, starting this year, the first year punya student, they are using LinkedIn as the official website for the e-portfolio. So last time you guys bring your e-portfolio to, I don't know, maybe they are going to advise you to transfer or just keep updating it now. Okay, but your junior, the new batch coming in for the first year, they are going to use LinkedIn already. Okay, I'm not sure how is the function, whether or not it helps in this e-portfolio, but I think it is compatible or not. Okay, that's about it. Anjang, how my course briefing, my goodness. Okay. Still got students outside. Sorry. Okay, ask them to come in. Now, we'll just directly go to our classes already. Okay, now today will be this our lecture 1, lesson 1, introduction to animal biotechnology. Okay, so first of all, what is biotechnology? The European Federation of Biotechnology, EFB, considers biotechnology as integration of natural science and organism, cells, parts thereof, and molecular analogs for products and services. Now, when we talk about biotechnology, it is never just about genetic modification or genetic engineering. There is a misconception here. Whenever we talk about biotechnology, people say that it must involve GMO. It must involve certain foreign materials being inserted into the plant tissue or animal tissue, and then we are going to consume it, and it is going to endanger our life or causes food safety issues. Not really. Okay, biotechnology is a huge wide area. Okay, the integration of natural sciences and organisms. So whenever you are dealing with cells, tissues, organs, part of the systems, a complex organism, it is all considered as biotechnology. Okay, it is all considered as biotechnology as long as, of course, you don't synthesize it in vitro. No, even you synthesize it in vitro, it is considered biotechnology as long as the derivative of it, whether protein ke, carbohydrate ke, whether it is a lipid molecules like omega-3 ke, do you consider it as biotech? Yes, definitely. It is considered as biotechnology as well. When you do your DNA modification, definitely. That one definitely. Okay, so over here, biotechnology basically is a very wide scope. We have genetics, microbiology, even electronics. These days, just 2 or 3 days ago, I have heard news on the Taiwanese news saying that they're trying to build use artificial intelligence in the build up of the human retinal tissue. Okay, so it helps those who have what do you put it sight problems. Okay, their sight problems, they can use artificial intelligence to adjust their sights. Okay, I don't know how it works, but we have advanced to such a period. Okay, so sometimes some semiconductor industry collaborate with biotechnology as well. We are using computational technology or microelectronics and trying to combine it together, or nanoparticles to combine biotechnology together for the application. Okay, so biotechnology is a huge area. Biochemical engineering, where you engineer certain derivative products and then you mass produce it. You try to produce it in high throughput manner. Okay, like insulin. Okay, like omega-3. These days, you can produce tons of algae rich in omega-3, and then you just consume the tablets. Okay, another way of biochemical engineering, chemical engineering as well, mechanical engineering as well, food and technology engineering. This is especially important. Why? Because food like yogurt, your food preservation, your food additives, flavorings are all under food technology. Still remember one of your seniors graduated few years back is working with, is it Ajinomoto? I don't remember. I think it's Ajinomoto, if not mistaken, a flavoring company. So basically, he went there. He basically quit already. It's a very good prospect. Just that the company has to move to another state. Itu Negeri Sembilan already, if not mistaken. Previously, it was in Selangor. So if you have the chance, you can join this Ajinomoto. It's a good company. It's a Japanese company, multinational. So what they did, they do some cloning, and then they use bacteria to produce these flavorings. Okay, these flavorings, once it is being produced already, they have to taste it. Okay, and then try to check whether or not it is what tomato flavor, whether or not it is a chicken flavor, it is a BBQ flavor. So different food testing. Okay, using cell and tissue culture. Okay, I don't know how it is being done, but that is what he told me lah. Okay, and I think they are still recruiting for people. Okay, over there. So in food technology engineering, you can actually go for it. Food science as well, and then biochemistry. That's normal chemistry. Okay. Now, history of animal biotechnology. Selective animal breeding has been practiced for nearly 10,000 years to produce selective traits in livestock. So ever since the existence of domestication, okay, human tries to selectively breed animal in order to obtain certain trait. Okay, for example, the gray wolf over here. For example, the chicken over here. Previously, the wild chicken are, as you can see, they are maybe in some of your kampongs, in your house, we have this red jungle fowl. Yang ayam kampung yang banyak, the chicken which which are very colorful, very long tail one. Those are the original chicken. We call it red jungle fowl. But somehow upon years and yet maybe like 6,000 years, 6 or 7,000 years of selective breeding, it becomes domesticated, okay, for our consumption these days. So yeah, cross diverse strains of animal hybridizing to produce greater genetic diversity. Okay, the offspring from these crosses are then spread selectively to produce greatest number of desirable traits. So from one trait, we try to combine them. Hey, we find it nice. These are the traits that we want. And then what if there is another trait? Can we actually cross them again so that it produces something even special? Okay, we try to hybridize them. Okay, are these considered as animal biotechnology? Yes. Okay, more conventional type of biotechnology. Okay, whereby we are trying to cross things. Okay, for you guys, maybe you have no idea how are all these performed, but maybe in your grandparents' era, they do pollination, artificial pollination. They take from one plant to the other. Okay, you can call it agronomy, you can call it biotechnology, up to you. But these are some of the techniques. But of course, recent research, we have advanced so much more compared to that. We don't still there are in LGM last time, still people do artificial pollination. Okay, you collect from one tree to the other, and then the fruit sets come out, you plant it and see whether the progeny is good with the characters that you desire or not. If not, you throw it away. If it is good with the desired characters, you want to replant it, okay, so that you get more and more of the clones that you need. Okay, that is what happens to LGM. But these days, people are trying to go into polyploidization. Polyploidization, is it? Okay, so polyploid, using rather than diploid, they're going into tetraploid, octaploid, trying to basically double up the genome content. Okay, from 2N into 4N, from 4N maybe into, I don't know, up to you. Okay, so we have noticed that due to the doubling number of the chromosomal set, it actually if the animal managed to survive, if they manage to survive, because this is a still try and error, okay, there are some who doesn't survive, some which survive, then we want to multiply it, do cloning of it, okay, polyploidization, okay, mutagenesis as well. Mutagenesis is mostly done on plant, okay, animals, not that much. We can use X-ray as well. X-ray is basically you use rays. Mutagenesis, you use some certain type of chemicals, expose them, and then these embryos or larvae or the eggs, if they manage to hatch, they come out with some desirable traits. But of course, the throughput has to be high. You have to expose large or ton or numbers of eggs, huge numbers, in order just to select one out of the clone. It doesn't go like you watch too much X-Men movie. Okay, you expose yourself to certain mutagen and you have developed certain good special characters. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, most of the time, upon exposure to mutagens, you die. Okay, or you develop cancer, or you develop some severe disease. Okay, so don't do that to yourself. But we do it to plant or animals. Okay, when they are still in larvae or embryos, we expose them, and then most of them die. There are certain survival, yes, the survivor, and this survivor, if they develop, most probably they are going to develop either into diseased individuals, then we throw them away. If they develop into having certain very desirable traits, we are going to uh, multiply them. Okay, multiply them. Okay, the history of animal domestication. Now, over here, chicken, you see, in like just like 60 or 70 years ago, the chicken looks like this. Okay, what do you call it? This is like after 3 months of this, almost into adulthood already. 1957, almost a kilo only. But these days, these days we have chicken like this, almost 4 kilo, 4 times the size. And the lifespan, the time for it to grow into here, this one takes maybe like 3 to 4 months. This one takes 1.5 months to reach this kind of size. So the chicken that you eat, then probably you say, ah, got a safety issue. No, don't worry about it. It has been selectively breed. Okay, all this selective breeding mostly for chicken mostly begin with the United States, whereby they did all this this particular contest, and then they did some natural breed selective trait selection, and then the breeds just becomes bigger and bigger each year. And then these days we have the chicken, looking like this. Okay, don't expect when you go to a poultry farm, the chicken will look like the red jungle fowl. No, we don't. Those are the ayam kampong that they wander around, free ranging in your kampong. Okay, but if you go to a poultry farm, the chicken looks like this. Okay, huge, and they don't walk much. Okay, if you try to chase them, they probably walk for a few steps and then they'll sit down again. Okay, the lifespan is totally short lah. We don't call them they are kind of sluggish, but because of their usage, normally the size they will be determined, they are going to be slaughtered or sacrificed within 1.5 months. So they don't really need to be too healthy. We just want to harvest the flesh. Okay. So the history of animal domestication, there are three main pathways for animal domestication. First of all, commensals adapted to human niche. For example, you have dogs at home. Sometimes some people have cats at home. Some people try to domesticate fowl, ayam, or yeah, like these are all for pets. Okay, and if you watch TikTok recently, probably some of you guys will see some TikTokers with the pigs in their home, staying together with the all sort of things like these days going on. Okay, and then prey animals sought for food. There are sheep, goats, cattle, water buffalo. These are for food purposes. We try to domesticate them in order for us to harvest. For sheep, maybe we want their coat as well. Okay, for goats, we want the milk and the flesh. Okay, and then we have cattle, water buffaloes, and so on and so forth. Targeted animal for draft and non-food resources. Sometimes we want them just because we want to use them for certain hard chores. Okay, we can use horses, donkeys, camels. Okay, we seldom eat the horse lah. Okay. Modern era ni tidak payah lah. This one probably you know better than me. Okay, they are genetically modified cows produce human milk. So how do you define human milk? The first thing, okay. So it can be biotechnology tools can be applied in high yielding animals, quality attributes, production of hormones, designer, livestock product, biopreservation, byproduct utilization, meat authentication. What do you mean by meat authentication? Meat authentication is mostly like you want to find out whether there is any food adulteration. What is food adulteration? Maybe some people claims they are selling selling beef, but somehow they put in other type of meats inside. Okay, and then you have no idea whether or not it is considered as halal or not. Okay, there are also certain meat products whereby in overseas they do this. Okay, whereby some meat products, they, in order to increase the tenderness of the meat, they want to inject lipids into it, so that when you cook it, it will retain certain moist, it will retain certain tenderness to it. Alright, and then this type of oil, it can be artificial or it can be derived from other animals as well. Okay, you don't want to be consuming the wrong ones. Okay. Okay, so over here now, these slides over here, it shows ABCD companies. I'm not sure whether you guys are familiar with ABCD companies or not. Now, these 4 companies over here, you better, as biotechnology student, you better know about it. Why is it so important? Because these are like the Google, these are like the Amazon, these are like the Facebook, these are like the Apple companies of the agriculture. Okay, if Google ke Apple ke, these are for the IT students, then these ABCD companies are for you as biotechnology student. Why is it so important now? This ADM, that is a company. What do you call, what is the full name of it? Archer Daniels Midland, ADM. And then we have Bunch, and then we have Cargill, whether or not it's Cargill, I don't know lah. The pronunciation, my pronunciation might be wrong. I'm not that, I don't have all these lines. Okay, and then Louis Defers, okay. So these are the 4 companies, A, B, C, D. Now this ABCD company owns maybe like 90% of global grain trade. What does it mean by 90%? Meaning to say, if you are consuming McDonald's, if you're consuming KFC, if you're consuming Pizza Hut, if you're consuming any products of Nestle, Kraft, cheese, Kellogg's, any of your Coco Crunch ke, it evolves around them. Why? Because they are the grain and feedstock company. They provide, if you are drinking soya milk, these are most probably during the whole process, either from providing seeds to farmers, from providing fertilizer to farmers, either from improving the plants of these seeds, improving the genetic stock of it, okay, research on it, and then or you are talking about harvesting it, or you are talking about processing it and then turning it into feedstock materials. The all this involves them at certain point. Okay, so it evolves into our everyday life. If you're thinking that, hey, Google is important for me, every day I use my phone, my laptop, my desktop, it evolves around Google. Okay, well, this ADM, Bunch, Cargill, Louis Defers, these are the big four in the agriculture commodity roles. Okay, you better know about it. And then the average history of these four companies is 150 years. Okay, 150. So they have been like since the 1980, yeah lah, 18 something, not 19 something, 18 something. Okay, they have been around already. Okay, some of these are private owned. Over here is written on this particular map over here. You can see. Now, if you are thinking which country in this world owns most of the commodity, the food commodity, because it will affect you. If some days the United States says that, hey, we want to sanction Malaysia, we plan not to sell anything for them, just like what they did to the North Korea, to Iran. Just for example, of course, Malaysia won't vote. Yeah, most probably won't. Okay, they want to sanction, okay, Malaysia, just for instance. Okay, if Cargill, they don't allow Cargill or Bunch, because two of these companies, Cargill and Bunch, they are based in the United States. Okay, mainly, no, Archer Daniels as well. These three countries. So out of the four companies, the big four companies, three of them falls in the United States. Cargill, Archer Daniels, and Bunch. These are from the United States. So they control most of they don't, so United States doesn't just control your technology, your phone, your iPhone, and then the Google that you use, your, what do you call it? Your phone is powered by apa tu? Powered by Google punya Android. Yeah. It doesn't just control your phone, it controls all the food as well. Okay, all the ABC as well here. So it is very important. The food. That's why every single state, they want to have their sovereign control over their food stuff. Okay, if in case anything goes wrong, either a sanction, either a war, or a conflicting situation comes to certain countries, you want your food commodity to be held inside your own hand. That's why Malaysia has we are considered not really self-sustainable, but we are to a certain point self-sustainable. We are considered one of the major agriculture country as well. Okay, and then we have now one of the big four lies in Amsterdam. Okay, it's a European country, EU country. Louis Defers. Okay, the D goes to them. Okay, you can see how much of a market share they own. Now, one of these, which is not 150 years old, which is quite new, that will be COFCO. COFCO belongs to China. Okay, it is a state-owned company. Okay, it is state-owned. State-owned company means to say the Chinese government own it lah. Because why is it so? Because they also know that these days you always heard here this US-China relationship, they are getting sour, they are trying to conflict each other. Yeah. And I think 1 or 2 years ago, when this Donald Trump was the president, they actually this China refused to buy the soya beans from United States. Now, after not buying from them, they have a huge stock of over accumulated soya beans. So when Beijing says that, I don't want to buy it, so they went for Brazil. Now, what happens to Brazil when they buy from Brazil? Brazil starts to cut off the Amazon in order to plant soya bean. I'm not sure whether you are familiar with the news or not. Okay, because that was happening last year, because it was reported that almost 20 or 30% of the Amazon was cut down. Remember, the Amazon is basically the lungs of the earth. Okay, you don't want to cut off. This is like getting yeah, your that one, your pneumonia sampai tidak boleh bernafas. So this is what actually happens. Okay, when one country goes against the other, it will create a huge influence, a whole chain of reaction going on. Okay, to our environment as well. Okay, so for these countries now, why suddenly I talk about grains pula? Now remember, this company doesn't just produces grains, they also produces feedstock, and 80% of this China soy production, this soy punya production, soya beans, okay, sold to China. What is it for? To feed pigs. Yeah, literally pigs lah. Okay, just to feed them. Okay, so that they can produce enough meat for the country to consume. Okay, so now when United States, this Beijing says that I don't want to buy from United States the soya bean, what happens to China themselves? All the meat products suddenly hike up 20 to 30% more expensive. Okay, they have to suffer. Okay, so in order to gain food security or self-sufficiency, they develop this COPCO. That's why it's one of the main commodity traders in the world, yet it is a state-owned. Okay, public listed only two. That's Usher Daniels and Bunch. Okay, from public listed maksudnya dia masuk dalam saham lah. Means to say whatever decision major decision they make, it has to be decided by the saham owner, the saham owner, the board of directors is subject to board of directors. But this Cargill and Louis Defers, they are family owned, personally owned, private owned, okay, a family business. Okay, Cargill is 120.4 billion per year to their turnover. You can imagine the market size they actually own. Okay? Now, these are world top 10 animal feed companies: CP Group, New Hope, Cargill, Lenolex, Wins. What is this? There's a pig face over there. You know lah. Muyan Food Stuff. Okay. BRFSA, Tyson Food. I believe you heard about Tyson Food that they during the pandemic, a lot of the kilang kena shut down just because a lot of the employee got infected with COVID. Okay, for farmers and Nutricore. So these are the top 10 companies for animal feed materials. If you are wondering whether or not you can work in this company, definitely can. There is CP Group in Malaysia. I'm not sure whether in those staying in Selangor, you heard about CP Group. It's one of the largest animal feed companies in the world. And then probably you'll be asking, can I work there or can I apply for my LI over there? Yes, definitely can. Last time my friend did actually approach me to send students over there for the LI. Now, if you are interested into going over to CP Group to have a try, who knows? It's a multinational company. Okay, my friend has been working there for more than 10 years already. So it's a good job, okay, over there. The pay was good. The bonus is good. He's a salesperson over there. Okay, and then we have New Hope Group. New Hope Group, that is from Chengdu, China. So you can see most of the animal feed companies are either China or the United States. Okay, but the largest will be CP Group. No? These are the companies that produce animal feed materials. If you are talking about chicken, the boilers punya feed material, the pellets that you use to feed your fish, to feed the chicken, the poultry that you eat every day, it comes mainly from these top 10 companies. Okay, you want to work from them. Okay, one day if there's opportunity. So these are top feed companies for industrial production. I don't know how to read this in Thailand or Thai words, but it's called CP Group. The volume is 23.2 million tons, okay, per year. Okay, this is per annum. I'm not sure what is the date. I don't know why I copy chart halfway. Okay, now this is the chicken that we eat. Okay, the chicken that we eat. Now, in order for us to be sustainable, we have to understand how are these poultry being developed. Okay, how does it grow into its size? Or using what sort of materials? 55% of the pellet that we feed, or the feed materials that we feed our chicken, the chicken that we normally eat, masak merah ke, hitam ke, all these 55%, the feed materials are corns. And Malaysia doesn't produce so much corn. Although, yeah, like, sometimes you plant it outside your house or inside your backyard, corn, maize. Okay, but 55% means that most of the feed material, this corn, are being imported from overseas, okay, from other countries. They plant it, we buy it, okay, and then 25% of this meat products, of the feed stuff, are soybean meals. Okay, meaning to say we are feeding some of the feed, some of the portion, the composition of the pellets that we feed, 25% are from soybean meal. Okay, soybean is very important. So, and then 15% others like vitamins, minerals, bone meal, fish meal, meat, wheat bran, and then wheat pollen and corn gluten meal. These are the 15% to provide all the micronutrients, macronutrients that is required. And then also we put in palm oil and rice bran to produce the lipid, to give them the lipid, the percentage of fats that they need to grow. Okay, so looking at all the feed materials that is being formulated, it is not hard to notice that 95% of all these fat materials are actually imported. Okay, now before I continue further, this information are actually gotten from this, okay, this company. Sources: The Star, Busy Weekly, UPM Scholar articles. So these are scholastic articles. These are not, we don't brag. These are not just random punya data lah that I get from Google. Okay, but yeah, you can find it in the internet as well, but it is being verified with multiple sources. Okay, so yeah, 95% imported. Just imagine if there is a lack of feed source that is being provided to Malaysia, we cannot grow our chicken because 95% it is being imported. Okay, probably palm oil, probably all these minerals, we can sustain a bit, but the most of the, if there's anything happens with the supply chain, our poultry industry basically going to collapse. Get what I mean or not? Now, poultry feed over here. When we talk about poultry feed, why everyone wants to eat chicken? Why not cattle? Why not beef? Why not sheep? It's much more delicious, is it? Yeah, whatever. But there is a real technical interpretation from it. Why is it so? Because the poultry has the lowest feed conversion ratio. What does it mean by lowest feed conversion ratio? Meaning to say only 1.6 kg of feed materials is required to raise 1 kilo of meat. You know what I mean or not? The ratio is 1.6 to 1. Okay. For fish, if you are going to give them 1 kg of feed materials, they are going to produce 1 kg of meat. Okay. But of course, fish, normally we over in Malaysia, mostly they are we have aquaculture, and we have that one we harvest from the wild, okay, from the sea. But fish, of course, when we talk about fish, there's a diverse whatever fish we're talking about. Average is the 1-to-1 conversion ratio. For poultry, is 1.6 to 1. So of all the land domesticated animals, food source, poultry is considered the most environmental friendly type of livestock. Okay, whereby we don't have to spend too much or input too much of feed materials in order for us to gain 1 kg of meat. Okay, as for sheep, 4 kg of feed materials is required for 1 kg of meat from the sheep. Okay, for beef cattle, 6 kg. For dairy cattle, 8 kg, because you have to milk them. Okay, so 8 kg of feed materials you have to feed them in order for you to just produce 1 kg of related products, dairy products from the cattle. Okay, so poultry is a more environmentally friendly source of protein. So what is feed conversion rate? Basically, feeds convert to weight means how much can you actually produce. Annual consumption per capita in 2014. This is Malaysia punya data. Okay, so calculated against 40% of non-Muslim population. Okay, 2000 estimates. Okay, so non-Muslim punya population. Okay, fish 50 kg. This is per person. Every single person, if you are non-Muslim, if you're non, since there's pork over here. Oh, no, it's asterisk. This is for pork. This is for non-Muslim. Overall, this is for everyone. Every single Malaysian. Okay. There's asterisk over here. pork, of course, for non-Muslim only. Okay, so this is 2014 and 15 period time. So for fish, 50 kg per person, each one of you basically consume 50 kg of fish per year setiap orang. For poultry, 47 kg. Eggs, on average, 328 eggs per annum. Okay, I believe, have you had your eggs today? For me, yeah lah, I have my eggs already. Okay, and then pork, beef, 6.94 kg. So beef is quite low. And then we have mutton, 1 kg, basically 1 kg per person. Okay, so yeah, this one you read on your own. These are all facts. I find the infographic quite interesting. Okay, so that's why I show it to you. Because it put, I think, in introduction to animal biotech, it really we really require some facts in order to put you into perspective. What is the current situation of the animal biotech industry in Malaysia? Okay, without doing so, you cannot follow me. Even if I'm going to talk a lot about technology, you have no idea how is it going to affect our industry. How does it actually affect me? Remember, 95% of the chicken that you eat comes from overseas. The feed that is being developed comes from overseas, the feed materials. Okay, if somehow we don't sustain ourselves, this 95% being cut off, maybe like 20-30%, it is going to cause a havoc in our food supply chain. Okay, that is how serious it is. Okay, production of high yielding animals, the methods of livestock production has to be efficient in response to the pressure of ever-growing human population. Why we want to chase up every single time? Food security, why is it so important? Why the food security issue is so important? Because we are a population that is ever growing. Malaysia population is still growing. Population like Japan probably drops like by slightly already. There are other population in the world that is dropping. We're going to talk about it in other courses. Okay. So ever growing human population are growing, we have to chase up. Okay, that's why 60 years ago, 70 years ago, we want to develop such a chicken which mature within 1.5 months in order for us to consume them. And the production rate, the meat production rate is 4 times of the original chicken. That's crazy. Okay, but it has to be done in order for us to feed the growing population. Okay, transgenesis allows the manipulation of genes from one organism, which can subsequently introduce into genome of another organism. Transgenesis is one approach, but transgenesis problem is that not every single country recognizes it. Not every single country accepts it. Okay, that's a big problem. Because like European country, they are very resistant to transgenesis or GMO, genetic modified organism. In consumption of it, no. Even the furniture that we use, the rubber tissue the rubber tree, the latex that we tap and we export it to EU, they're going to check whether or not it is a GMO or not. So it is that kind of serious. Okay, so yeah, some accept, some doesn't, but it is definitely a potential techniques to be used. Okay, and even in Malaysia, we have limitation. It has been introduced for so many years already, but we haven't adopt transgenesis in a big scale. Okay, because everyone's worried about the safety issues. But in other countries like Singapore, like Brazil, they have adopted quite well with it. Okay, and the healthy pork with this one, blah, 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 and then generation. These are just examples. Now, improvement in quality attributes. When we do animal biotechnology, we want to improve the attributes of the meats of our animal products. Okay, now there's one term that you probably want to know about. This is PSE meat. What is PSE? Pale, soft, exudative meat. This is a common meat. This is common evaluation when we are dealing with meat products. Okay, when you go to the industry, when you go to cold storage, these people will talk about this particular jargon or this particular terms with you. PSE meat. Now, what actually causes PS? This is PSE meat. It looks pale, it looks soft, it feels soft, and it is exudative. Exudative meaning to say a lot of liquids or fluids. The meat doesn't retain fluids at all. when you put it on a plastic pad, you will notice that there are a lot of blood water all around that piece of meat. Now that is what we call SPSE. And then we have normal meat. This is normal meat, which has quite okay type of exudative or moderate. This is dry, firm, and DFD is what? Dry, firm, and dark, firm, and dry. Dark, firm, and dry. This is very dark. It is not appealing to when you look at it. It is not appealing at all. Firm. It is very hard. And then when you cook it, you eat it, it's dry. Okay, dry. I'm not sure why you're dry, but yeah. Now all PSE and DFD are the abnormal type of meat. Now, what happens to this was that during the post-mortem, when during the slaughtering process or during the transport process of the animal, these animals may somehow be subjected to stress. Okay, when they are stressed, the stress level went up. Some certain genes like this myostatin, RYR, these genes are being expressed to a certain level, and it actually causes an increase in glycolysis. Trying to digest because they are in stress. They are burning off the sugars, the carbohydrates inside the body, which the glycogen inside the body, which causes glycolysis to hike out, and then pyruvate to accumulate. Okay, so when pyruvate acid or this lactic acid actually accumulate inside this meat, it causes PSE and DFD. Okay, causes either the breakdown in the membrane so that all the water is oozing out. Okay, when you cook this kind of meat, although because it's leaking water, cook it, you eat it, it's dry. Okay, because it doesn't retain water anymore. And then this one, it feels really tough. Okay, so now that is one. So how can we do to improve this? Because of because of the study that we performed previously, all the scientists have done all this. They measure the time post-mortem, so they want to either biopreserve it or using certain genes, gene modification, or artificial selection, or marker-assisted selection. We try to breed a sheep, the cattle, or the pigs into producing meat which is tender, whereby the livestock, when they are being subjected to stress, they can resist the stress. Okay, they wouldn't respond to so much due to the stress level, because in Malaysia, you sometimes you see, right, or when you go when you drive along the highway, you will see some either poultry chicken or some cows they are being loaded onto the truck and then being transported to the slaughterhouse. During this whole particular process, they are being subjected to stress. Okay, and the stress level causes this kind of meat condition, and it is not desirable for the market. People don't want to buy them. Okay, so that's a problem. So we want to improve them. How do we improve them? By manipulating this lipoprotein receptor or leptin genes. Okay, now this biopreservation is one of the salmon. Now these days, a lot of salmon fish that you eat in the market, these are all actually cultured by, these are all cultured fish. Don't think that the salmon that is being sold in our supermarket areas, our hypermarket, these are all wild salmon. Banyak fikir. Okay, most of the salmon that is being sold to us, these are what do you call it? Aquaculture salmon. Yeah, these are breed spear salmon because they want to catch up with the demands of the market. Okay, now biotechnology and animal nutrition. Okay, biotechnology is applied to nutrition to increase abundance of feed and to improve the digestibility of nutrients in those feed. What does it mean over here? Now, manipulating animal ability to absorb and utilize. Now, another way when we talk about trying to feed the animals with all these just now we talked about the feed conversion ratio, right? Now, how do we, just now for cattle punya feed conversion ratio, it was 8 or to 6 to 8. Now, how do we optimize our feed materials? When we put in like 6 kg of feed materials, it is expected to produce 1 kilo actually. But is it possible that will maximize this feed material so that the absorption can be much more better. When you put it in, it's easily absorbed, and the animal, instead of just growing 1 kilo of meat, it grows 2 kilo of meat. Is it possible or not? Definitely can. Okay, these are under biotechnology as well, where you can do modification of the ruminant digestive system. Okay, either put in your probiotics, put in your prebiotics, or sometimes you want to crush some of the feed materials to a certain point that it becomes easily digestible. Now, what is the purpose of it? To reduce the excretion that comes out from the digestive system. Okay, the more they produce this fecal feces, meaning to say the more these feed materials are not being digested and it is being wasted off. We want to have 1 kilo, when this 6 kilo, if it is going to fit into the animal, want all of it, if possible, you want all of it to be absorbed, but definitely impossible because there's definitely going to be other stuff being excreted from the body. Okay, want the digestive system to basically take up all the feed materials that we provide to maximize it, so we can modify the ruminant system. But modifying the animal itself is much tougher than modifying the feed. Okay, if we are going to just feed them with the feed materials which has been modified previously, you include all the different additives. These are not going to be when you do PCR on the meat products, it is not going to tell you, hey, this is a GMO or whatever, or this particular animal has been modified. Okay, get what I mean or not? Changing the feed materials is much more easier than changing the animal themselves. Okay, so feed stuff development through biotechnology, increase abundance of nutrients, increment in the proportion of certain nutrients, blah blah blah. So read on your own. Oh, too late already. How many slides left? 17 slides. I think we're going to just skip some of it. Now, these are biotechnology industry. If you're trying to know what is this is the top 10 companies by pharmaceutical revenues around the world. This worldwide, Pfizer, highest. How much? This $1 billion. Pfizer, $50 billion in 2019. I think into 2020, definitely it boomed. Okay, maybe more than 100 million, 100 million USD already, the revenue. This, we are talking about the revenue because of the COVID. Okay, so if you are saying that, hey, biotech, we don't have much career opportunity, okay, there are plenty of job opportunities over there, and especially during this pandemic era, there are plenty of job opportunities for you, whether or not you want to take the effort, the initiative to look for it. Okay, kita mau lah, makin banyak cakap. Okay, biotechnology industry. Now, if you're talking about whether or not there's any pharmaceutical companies in Malaysia, these are the list of local companies present in Malaysia. Okay, Pharma Niaga Manufacturing. Pharma Niaga is one of the top pharmaceutical companies in Malaysia. So it's very difficult to get in, okay, because they take really good students, really performing students only. So if you can go in, yeah, it will be your luck. Okay, CCM Pharmaceuticals, also a lot of your creams, a lot of the medicine that you take, you will see behind that CCM. Okay, big pharmaceutical companies. If you want, you have to join them. Okay, these are like the big pharmaceutical companies in Malaysia. Okay, Hobbit Berhad, this one seldom heard of it. Kotra Pharma, Kotra, and then iMedicare, and then foreign companies. Do we have foreign companies? Yes, we do have. We have this Sterling Drug Malaya manufacturing. Oh, GSK. Oh, GSK. If you can join them, good career prospect. Good career prospect if you can join GSK. And then B Brown as well. B Brown, who is in Penang? If you're in Penang, yeah, luck for you, B Brown. But if you can join them, these are like big medical supply company. If you can join, okay, Ranbaxy, SP Industries, Biocon, Sunward Pharmaceuticals. These are all available in Malaysia. They are all overseas company. These are local companies. Of course, they are in Malaysia. Okay, these are just for your information on biotechnology. Okay, now why genetically? This one don't want to talk about it. This one also. Okay, now let's jump to 7 more slides. Okay, safety issues. What are the health risks to human on consumption of genetically modified animals? Okay, and their products such as recombinant BSD, so bovine somatropin milk. Okay, so now there are a lot of people. This doesn't mean that these are posing threats to people. A lot of people are asking whether or not there is a risk of consuming GMO products. Okay, last time I think your seniors even have a talk whereby they invited experts in the field to come together and they did what do you call it, a seminar on it, okay, a workshop on it, so people learn about whether or not it's safe. Until so far, there has not been severe adverse effects that has been reported from consuming GMO products. Okay, most of the reports that you read, even in literature, okay, some of the literature when you actually it has been scrutinized, people look into it, check the format, the way they conduct the research. Some of these which reported saying that there's safety issues, the research, the experiment design on its own is flawed. Okay, that's Allah. Okay, so far there's not been any cases being reported on consuming these GMO products. Okay, so what substance expressed as a result of genetic modification? Is there any chances that when you consume a GMO milk, this GMO milk will somehow the DNA that is being present in this milk, it is going to be transferred to our body? No, this you have to, yeah. So it's like I'm not sure whether you have heard this news before when you are in your primary school or your secondary school, and they say when you consume so much of cow's milk and then you behave like a cow. I'm not sure whether you have heard this particular. It was quite as in the sensation a few years back, saying the thing has been going on. Okay, so well, you have to think about it. You are a biotech student. If a modified animals will breed with other domestics or wild animals, thereby transferring the introduced gene. Now, this might be true. Okay, this might be true, whereby when you have one wild animals, caging is not being done properly, or it escape caging or captive. When you are trying to breed them, they go into the wild population and they breed with the wild population. You are going to seriously adversely affect the wild population to the distribution. Get what I mean? Because you're introducing modified genes into a current state of population. Okay, that is maybe a real safety issue. But if you are talking about consuming it, for me, I personally think that this GMO products is safe. Okay, there are concerns about the risk of drug-resistant genes marker might inadvertently be expressed or transferred or expressed. So some of these, because when we do unconventional transgenesis approach, normally we will use drug resistance markers. These markers like supplementary stuff or byproducts of a transgenesis. But well, these days there are much more advanced media techniques whereby we use, is that thing called oh my god, suddenly it doesn't come to my mind. Okay, that particular technique is called, okay, so yeah, that can be used and it doesn't actually need the existence of a gene markers inside it. Okay, it can be directly, the gene can be transferred clean and on its own, okay, into that organism. Safety issues. Now, this is another safety issues, ractopamine, okay, marketed in US for paling for swine, okay, Optaflex for cattle, and Topmax for turkeys. Okay, it was developed by Elanco Animal Health, a division of Eli Lilly. Now, one of these chemicals over here, it causes like last year or the year before, it causes a sensation in the news. Why is it so? Because some of the countries wouldn't want the US punya meat to come into their country. Why? Because they basically give or feed the animals with ractopamine. What is ractopamine? Ractopamine is basically a type of chemicals whereby you supply them through the feed, and it actually helps in the grow in muscle tissue. Meaning to say, the meat can grow even more rather than you can see the fats over here. Okay, meat can grow more so that later on prices can be good, and then it can be sell at a higher product. Now, these particular techniques or these particular chemicals is well recognized in the United States. But other countries, most of the countries, maybe 70 or 80% of the world country of the countries in the world ban these chemicals to be used. Okay, because they think that it has not been verified properly whether or not it really is going to cause health issues or not. Okay, so this is one of the issue safety issues. Of course, it involves biotech as well. Environmental consideration. Just now I talked about it. What if the altered animal enter the environment or escape to the environment, and the gene that has been inserted into it, is it going to basically due to your meiosis, due to your breeding, it gets transferred to the wild population, and the wild population somehow gain advantage in reproduction, and it allows them to basically be invincible in the wild. Okay, now one of the examples is this mutant mosquito in Malaysia. It was in 2011. Mutant mosquito. Malaysian release of genetically modified insect sparks fear of uncontrollable new disease. Now, this has been released, but now it has been now in Malaysia, because since it was in the news, and I'm not really sure whether it has been successful, but I think in Singapore and in Brazil, Mexico, I cannot remember already, the study was successful. Okay, whereby mutant mosquito managed to reduce the risk and the chances of getting dengue. Okay, probably some of you guys gotten dengue before. You know how severe it was. It is a life-threatening situation. So using mutant mosquito to control the wild population of mosquito in the environment, so that it can try to regulate or downsize the infection of dengue, the occurrence of dengue. Okay, this is one of the examples, but of course, there is environmental consideration. And the environmental consideration, antibiotic usage in farming, whether or not antibiotic usage is good or is it acceptable. A lot of antibiotics has been used either in different types of animal culture. Okay, some use it for livestock, some use it for aquaculture purposes. Even in fish pond, in shrimp ponds, they use antibiotics. Okay, so there has been, of course, multiple incidents of what do you call it? This multiple methicillin resistance streptococcus aureus. Okay, so yeah, there are this super bug being developed. Okay, due to the uncontrolled usage of antibiotics in farming or in medical usage as well. Okay, so think about it. Is it safe? Is it safe for the environment? So at the end of the day, should we basically ask ourselves, are we playing God? Okay, are we trying to create certain technologies that eventually we are trying to manipulate or trying to play around with the ethical constraints that is being given to us? Each of us, every single one of us, we have our ethical boundaries in our head. When we want to do something, we'll think about the ethical issues behind it. But over here, you see one of the cases, scientists 5 years away from creating human sperm and eggs in a laboratory. That is like in 2009. So I believe on these days, it is possible. That day I actually heard one of the, I don't know, it is a broadcast, okay, or news, okay, whereby when there are these homosexual couples, okay, if you are desiring to have your own children, of course, homosexual couples, you're never going to get children in a natural way. But if you can derive stem cells from your body, from any parts of your body, and then turn these stem cells into either human sperms or human eggs, and then you can hybridize it with your partners, there you go. You can create embryos and then you can select a surrogate mother. Okay, these days a lot of for me lah, I hear a lot of these Chinese punya these Chinese punya apa these artists whereby they went to either United States ke the Europe country ke, they find the surrogate mother, have their eggs or their sperm to have a embryo embedded, and then later on the baby that is being born to them, they don't want to recognize them, so the baby, who does it actually belongs to? Because it doesn't belong to the surrogate mother. She's only a person who gets paid. She's only the factory who produces the baby, like an incubator that produces the kid, the children. But the person who pays for it doesn't want to recognize the children anymore. So where should she send that particular children? Does it go to the government? Does it go to an orphanage? Does it belong to the surrogate mother? So that's a big question. Are we supposed to do that? Okay, so that's the question that we want to answer lah. Okay, legal implication. There's regulation by FDA, FTCA. Baboons and pigs are used for organ transplantation studies. Okay, will health insurance cover cost of genetic testing? Yeah. Now, if somehow these days there are, I think you can go, you see a lot of advertisement inside your social media whereby you can see, what do you call it? Is it what is it, DNA code or whatever, whereby you just do a swap and then you send it for your DNA profiling. It can basically tell you, well, who is your ancestors, how many percent of you are a Malay, or how many percent of you is a Chinese or Indian origin, or are you from some kind of other origins or ancestors. And then of course genetic testing can, when we do it, it can also tell you what is the potential of you. Do you have to in order for you to is there chances that you will get breast cancer or any types of cancers ke? Or are you going to get any genetic predisposed diseases ke? Okay, it can tell you everything, okay, from this genetic testing. So when we have this profiling being done for us, okay, and then it is being kept at the genetic testing lab, does the health insurance company has access to all this information? If they somehow gain this information from this genetic testing lab, okay, are they still going to cover your insurance? Get what I mean? Because you are implicated maybe by it is predicted from your genetic testing that this gene is going to cause a liver cancer in you by when you are maybe 40 or 50. There's high risk of you. So are the health insurance still going to cover? And if they have been covering you, do they have the from the legal aspect, can they actually refuse your claim later on? Is it possible? Because you already know about your condition, but you haven't really reported it during while you did your you bought your health insurance. Get what I mean? So there's a lot of legal implications involved. Okay. Animal welfare, this one you can read on your own. I think that's about it. Okay. It's almost 12 already. Okay, I'm just going to, so any questions so far? Guys, are you guys still there?
No question.
Yes.
Yeah,
Still here, no
your question
questions.
is? If no question, everyone no questions?
Doesn't seem like it.
Good, doctor.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yeah. Come.
The PDF that doctor have shared in the Elite, I have read it and I noticed that there is some difference between the PDF and between the PDF that doctor share in Elite and the PDF that doctor during the lecture
Presented just now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think not because I just updated it yesterday or 2 days ago. Because the previous one I actually transferred from last semester, and then during the semester break I did some changes lah. But no worries, it will be limited to this lecture, because this is for the introduction. I have to present some cases and some extra information inside there for you to understand about the current situation. the rest of the technical part for the rest of the semester, it will be the same. No worries.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
I think I actually updated the slides into the lecture 1 as well. I'm not sure whether I change it after that, but yeah, most of it still the same. Okay, if you want my slides, yeah, I can send it to you. No worries.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, any other questions? After listening to so many thoughts, now, what you need to do after, whether I'm not sure whether you're listening or not, after you have listened to all this, okay, try to digest it. Don't take my words for it only. You digest it and then you come up with your own conclusion on certain topics like safety issues, environmental issues, like these religious issues, or the legal implication. You digest it, okay, using multiple sources. You try to think on your own. Okay, don't just listen to me. Okay. Any other questions? Don't want to ask me about service learning. Service learning definitely will explain again in later sections. Okay, so remember one thing, next week will be your quiz 1. Okay, quiz 1. Just read on today's slides. Yeah, all the information is there already. Bulak from the slide. Not going to have you think too much. Okay. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much for coming. Since you have taken your attendance, I'll see you guys again. Bye.
Doctor,
Yeah.
can I have manual attendance, please?
Oh, okay. Manual attendance. I'll just. You're from group berapa, huh?
Group 2.
Oh, group 2. Because I need to go back to group 2 punya that one. Group 2 will be here. Just a minute, I will create the attendance. So group 2, what's your matrix number?
73758.
Nurul Ain binti Ismail.
Yes, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Anyone else? Hello? If no, you... Okay, sorry. What's your matrix number? Your group? How much? What is your group? Hello? Okay. Hi. What is your group number?
Group 2.
Group 2, and then matrix number?
77064.
7064. Vanessa Genu.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Doctor, I'm from group 2, but I scanned in the group 1 just now.
Oh, it's alright. You're supposed to scan into group 1, but because the manual attendance, I cannot key in for you in group 1 because your name is not in group 1, so I have to help these two to key in manually. No worries, it is still going to appear inside your attendance later on.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. If nothing, no questions, I'll see you guys again.
Doctor, can I have manual attendance?
Your
I'm from
group?
group 2.
Group 2 as well.
73893.
Zulitan, is it?
Zulikan, yes.
Zulikan ke Zulikan? Apa? How do you pronounce it?
You can just call me Nabahan, but my full name is Zulitqon Nabahan.
Zulitqon.
Thank you, Doctor.
Memang betul. Okay, done. Who else?
Doctor?
Yes?
I'm Jordan.
Jordan, your group, how many?
1.
Group 1.
Just finished my other classes, so I joined now.
Oh, just join. Okay, fine. You want to scan on your own?
Yeah, if that's possible.
Yeah, I'm going to give you just a minute. Okay. Here. This one. There you go. Later on, you listen back to the recordings, yeah?
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
No worries. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Remember next week's we have quiz.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Doctor.
Bye, see you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bye.
Thank you, doctor.
Hey, doctor.
Thank you. See you.
Doctor,
Yes,
about
quite.
the forum, someone asked just now, we just reply in the elite, right?
Reply in the elite reply. Yeah, yeah. Just post it in the forum is inside the elite. You
Okay.
just post it inside the elite.
There is no time limit for that, right?
But try to be fast as soon as possible because you want to get your what do you call it? The carry marks before your final exam, right? So there
Okay.
are students who drag until the last minute and then they forget. When they forget about it, no marks will be given. That is like five exact marks from your 100%.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, see you. Okay, so I close down, yeah. Sandra, Choi, Samira, bye.